Talked about this back in 2019 when I recorded the time. We didn't have the video and the photo we do now. It was released by the Irish Mirror, and it's all over Twitter. I won't show it here because it's pretty graphic. The fellow in question that was bet up by this seeking TD, basically seeking to be re-elected to Darwin, was a senator at the time that this occurred. I wouldn't show it here now, but it's all over Twitter if you want to have a look, particularly people in Loud, because that's where he's seeking a seat for Dáil Éireann. So I would encourage people to look if you're from Loud. But again, be advised that the person is pretty beaten up, but so it was a pretty serious assault. Now, we went to court, except this is Senator, former Senator now, seeking Dáil Éireann, John McGahon, it's G-H-O-N, I can never pronounce, see with dyslexia it's so difficult to pronounce it. But I talked about this back when it did happen. We didn't have video, we didn't know how bad it was. We might, at the time I think people just thought it was a push or something like that, something serious. But it went to court. The judge really didn't find him guilty of it. I don't know that the video existed at the time. Who knows what was the story there, but he had to pay €39,000. So I don't know what the story was there, but he had to pay €39,000 to the victim. To be totally honest, it should have been more, to be totally looking at the injuries that he suffered. It's pretty bad. But the other thing I will say is Fine Gael, particularly, again, he's one of the Fine Gael, supposed to be the party of law and order, supposed to be the party of law and order, keeping law and order in the state. And I suppose it raises this question I have to ask the people of Ireland, you the listeners of Ireland. What do you think? Do you think people who won for a local election, European election, or take, for example, the Dáil, do you think they should have a Quinn Marek? Particularly, again, if you beat someone, it would be different if he was I don't think he was pushed. I think it wasn't. It was unprovoked. As far as I can gather from all the evidence I can see in front of me. I could be wrong because I'm just looking at the photos here in the video here. I don't know. We don't know what happened beforehand. We don't know what was said, I suppose. But still, nonetheless, it's pretty serious what he did. So especially assault, bodily harm, etc., etc. It's all right if it was maybe a ticket violation. You parked your car on a double yellow line for 5 minutes. You got a ticket for it. That really doesn't. It's not the end of the world, to be totally honest. So if you break a red light and you get caught doing, not the end of the world, as long as it didn't cause any harm. But my main thing is, I suppose, and for me too, particularly something that's broken the law like this, if somebody hurt somebody or harmed somebody in that way, I couldn't foresee. I wouldn't vote Fine Gael, but I couldn't foresee me voting for anybody that had a criminal record like this, that attacked somebody or hit somebody or caused serious injuries to them. I couldn't see myself voting for them, to be totally honest. I couldn't do it because I'm not a violent person. I never was in a fight in my life. I never wanted. I always try and get out of fights and stuff because it doesn't benefit anybody. It causes harm, more suffering, etc., etc. to people. And life is already too much suffering without causing fights and issues, etc., etc. So that's always been my policy, to de-escalate. If anything ever gets heated, etc., etc., de-escalate and walk away, because that's the best thing to do, is to walk away. But I don't know. But I would say to people, what do you think, I suppose? And I would ask people, if you wish to, look up the video and the photo too. It's in the Irish Mirror too. The Irish Mirror broke it about the photo and the stuff, because it's pretty serious. And especially the next bit is going to probably be the more serious bit. That Simon House, the Taoiseach, the leader of this country, is campaigning on behalf of him. Now this is more than, I suppose, what you could say, because again, Simon House is in with the party of law and order, and then campaigning for him. So in my opinion, I think it's double standards, and particularly the Taoiseach going around campaigning, and then every day of the week we see assaults happening, etc., 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 and they get suspended sentences, things like that all the time. There's a lot I could say, and I suppose it's up to the people allowed to say, and I suppose it's up to the people allowed to decide if he gets a seat or not. But in my humble opinion, if he was in Cavan, I wouldn't vote for him. I wouldn't vote for Fine Gael anyway, but even if he was an independent or whoever he was, I wouldn't vote for him, because it's a pretty serious charge. The assault is pretty serious. It's not like a double yellow line ticket. I wouldn't pass much remarks on that bit. If it was a double yellow line ticket, it's either here or there. But particularly, again, assault, causing bodily harm, it's severe bodily harm to his face. I would say to people allowed to think about it. I really, really think about it very hardly. Especially because there's more candidates, and now there's 20-something candidates. It's a huge amount of candidates to choose. It's not like there's only a few. But I suppose let me know what you think, because again, it's up to the people on. But I don't know. Because again, Jerry the Hutch is going for the election too, so I don't know. I suppose it's hard to know. I suppose it depends on the person, but I don't know about bringing in legislation to stop that kind of thing. If somebody had a criminal history, of violence, etc., etc., particularly, um, I don't know. I suppose it's a debate. I suppose it's questions for the Irish people too. What do you think? Because at the end of the day, it's up to the Irish people at the end of the day to decide. And I suppose at the end of the day, it's up to the electorate too, in Loud, to make up their mind what they do. Because again, at the end of the day, it's up to them. If they want them, that's their right as citizens of the country to vote them in if they want. You get what I'm saying. I suppose we could go in more detail, but long story short, I do think Simon House shouldn't be campaigning for him. And to be totally honest, I don't think he should be seeking a seat, but at the end of the day, this democracy is entitled to put his name forward. There's nothing really anybody can do to stop him, but it's up to the people to decide. And I suppose that's the main thing about democracy. It's the people. Thank you.